about trading Forex is that you don't actually know exactly which trade is going to be a crazy winner or just another loss.
What's up, everybody? We are currently live.
We're taking away the weekly.
Trace back down to what we've got. Confidence that price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
What the kangaroo tell?
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs and pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following.
The stimulus in a certain way.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream. I see Moses, Vernon, Nadir, Sharon, George. Hello. Welcome. So, we're gonna have an interesting stream today. I have a lot of moves to go over with you so that just in case you didn't get them, if you missed them, so that you're able to know how you can find these moves yourself. Okay. So we're gonna be going over GJ. I'm gonna be talking about a buy. We had it earlier on stream today for 30 pips, and I'm gonna be talking about a little sell move here. And then we're going to be moving on to gold. I'm going to talk about the news drop today, how you could have caught that move. And we're going to talk about US30, the news drop as well. And then we're going to be talking about the value of the dollar and how that affects gold and US30 and how you can use that tool to know if it's a buy or sell. All right, so we're going to have an interesting stream. Bert, what's going on? Bert, I see you. Spaminda, Obi, Che, Melissa. All right, so let's start with GJ. Okay, so if we go back in replay mode, right, I start around 7 o'clock. So I'm going to put this on 7. Let's clear this out. So I'm going to show you what I personally saw. All right, if we come down to the 15-minute, I do like to use the 15-minute, okay? I do know that overall, if I zoom out here, we're consolidating, right? Price is up and down in this area. It's not really saying where it wants to go. Okay, I do want to point that out. We do see that. All right, but more importantly, we want to dive into what's going on right now, right? So when I come onto the charts, I see that price came down to a support, right? I see we have a bullish engulfing. I see the next candle is bullish. So I'm like, okay, So it looks like price wants to move to the top side. Right. So now I'm looking for a resistance, right? Where's the next resistance that price can break through so that I can look for a trade setup, right? So number one, we're going to put determine the direction of the market. All right. So we determined that, hey, we came down support here. These next two candles are bullish. Looks like price wants to go up, right? So our bias is up. Number two, if our bias is up, our bias is bullish, we look for the next resistance. All right. So I'll move this around. So if we're looking here, right, you could say, okay, the next resistance is here. But check me out. You're going to have to be really petty if you do that, because you can also say the next resistance is right here. Or someone else may look at this and say, no, the next resistance is here. And you know what? These three people, you're all right. You're all right. They're all resistances. However, we don't want to be petty when we're making zones. We want to just have one major zone, right? So if I don't like what I see on the 15-minute here, right, if I don't like this jam up, I go to a higher time frame so I can get a better analysis of where the resistance actually is. So if we hop over to the 30-minute, boom, check this out. Now this is what I did. I said, okay, now this looks a little cleaner. Now I can see, okay, the top of these candles are right here. So this is our resistance. You see that? So this is our resistance zone. All right. So now we're waiting for a break of structure. All right. Waiting for a break of structure, break of zone, however way you want to say that, just for time purposes. I'm going to type it like that. All right. If we go to our next candle here, boom. You know, I do talk about this on my stream a lot. I say, you know, you want to look for those wick downs, right? So if you look at this wick down to the downside here, price is rejecting to go to the downside and it's pushing up. It's showing you bullish momentum. Another thing is we're on a higher time frame. We're on a 30-minute time frame. That's a big time frame. That's half of an hour. You know, that's a lot of pips. All right. So you could have taken an impulse entry here on this candle. You could have, you know, you could have taken an impulse entry here, put your stops below, all right, below the wick here. Now, what are we looking for? Where are we looking for price to go? To the next resistance. What's the next resistance on this 30-minute right here, right? Now, some people may say, hey, you know, what if price gets up to here? Okay, cool. We'll reach that point when we get to that point. Right now, we just want to focus on what we see, right? What we seen on the 15-minute was, hey, price came down to a support. It was doing nothing but going bullish. We needed to find a resistance for it to break through. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to know is, you know, if you're not an impulse entry taker on a 30-minute, if you're more like me, you know, I'm going to tell you what my strategy is. I typically like to be on the 15-minute. I wait for a close above the zone. Those of you who are on my channel, you hear this all the time, right? I wait for a close above the zone and I take my impulse entry on the next candle, right? So the way my strategy works is I probably would have caught less pips, right? I'll take my impulse entry here. I'd have my stops below here, 18 pips stop loss. Let me just take away this arrow so it doesn't get confusing. Right, the next zone is right here. So we're going for 19 pips or 20 pips, say. All right, going for 20 pips. But again, you know, if you took your entry on that 30-minute break, if you understand how price action works, you could have got an earlier entry down here. You see that? So you're saving yourself like an extra 10 pips. You know, I just want to point that out there. Those are those sniper entries. But anyway, just go and buy this. All right. You wait for the breaker structure. Cool. Right. This candle closed above the gray zone. Then you wait for the next candle to show you bullish momentum. This candle showing you that's pushing up. Take your impulse entry. All right. So let's play this out. Okay. We have this candle is kind of like a little fake out, right? It's kind of consolidating. Then boom. You know, so what's important is, you know, as long as you have your bias direction and you have confluences and confirmations towards why you think it's a buy, there's no reason for you to close the trade out and get faked out by this, right? There's no reason for you to be like, oh, this is a loss, right? Because you graphed this out for a reason, okay? As long as you have your bias here, you said, okay, price closed above the zone, the 30-minute is bullish, right? We're bouncing off of the support. You know, overall, we're going bullish. There's no reason why you should have closed your trade here. You know, you keep your stop loss. And then as this candle is shooting up, you know, I'd always recommend you move your trailing stop into break even here. And then it becomes a stress-free trade, you know, but nonetheless, 20 pips is 100% smashed here. But again, you know, those sniper entries would have been better if you took your entry here on a 30-minute, right? And the only reason we know that is because we're back testing this live. All right, so this was the move earlier we had on stream. So, you know, if I was writing notes for myself, which I will do after this, I'm going to say, hey, you know, take a picture of this on the 30-minute. 30-minute would have been a better entry. All right, so hopefully that one makes sense. Hey, OB, I see you in the chat. I caught 45-minute, 50% retracement on GJ. Nice, nice. Can you give your analysis on pins? Not sure what that is. Not sure. All right, so that was the buy move. So next we're going to talk about the sell move on GJ. Then we'll move on to gold. So if we delete this. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is at 8:30. All right, this is an indecisive candle. So what happened at 8:30 was there was unemployment claims. All right, we're going to talk about this further in depth once we move on to gold. So I'm going to leave it alone now. But if we're looking at this on the 30, what do we see? Price came up to our zone here, right? We had a zone here. Price came up to it. It kind of made like a double top action. You see how price kind of made like a double top action? And if you know how double top patterns work, I'll show you. This is why it's important to read your Forex books. Double top pattern. You know, you sell at the neckline. So I'm just going to show you this. All right, here's a good example right here. Right, these two prices meet, these two mountains meet at the peak. The neckline is down here in the middle. You just draw it across, and that's where your sell point is. So if we take a look at this double top, where is our selling point? Well, our selling point kind of looks like it's right here, or you can look at it as, okay, it's right here. Whichever way you look at it, it's pretty accurate. All right, but if you're not really sure, it's okay to not be sure, but it's just good to recognize, okay, it looks like a double top on the 30-minute. All right, so if I'm drawing the double top, boom, boom, then it looks like the neckline is down here. So what I would do is I would put a zone here, and I say, okay, let's wait for price to break through this support, right? So what's our notes going to say on this now? Notes. We're going to say double top on 30-minute or 15-minute, whichever way you want to put it. And you want to say waiting for a break of support, or you could put the neckline, right? Break of support, break of the neckline. All right, that's what we're waiting on here. I'm just going to put a little tab here. Okay, cool. So we're being patient, we're waiting. And now we want to say, okay, say we do get this break to the downside. Where's price gonna go, right? Because you always need an exit. You need to have a TP. You don't have a TP, you're gonna be in trouble. If we look at these buys up here, when price came up to here, what happens if we didn't have a TP at 20 pips? You see how price came back down? You didn't get out the market here, you'd be in trouble. We want to make sure that we're in and out the market. So let's look left. Now, if I look left, I do see this here, but this is only a couple pips away. This is only like 3 pips away. So remember, we're not going to be petty. We're going to look for something a little bigger, right? So this makes more sense. So this is exactly, in fact, where I drew my zone. If you go back to my live stream, I drew it right here. All right. So now that looks a little better, right? Because 3 pips away, that's nothing. If we measure this out, this is about 20 pip gap, 22 pip gap. That's enough room for us to get about 10 pips. I always recommend going for 10. All right, so let's put this in play. Bang. All right, so we wait for the break of structure. This candle closed past the zone, correct? All right, we're past the zone here. So now we want to wait for that next candle, right? So we want the next candle to show us bearish momentum. Okay, so if this next candle show us that it wants to push down, that is when we do take our impulse entry. All right, so let's put this in play. Bang. Stops above. I mean, sometimes I do put my stop a little, I give it a little bit of breathing room, but nonetheless, your stop loss should not be any lower than that wick, right? Your stop loss needs to be above this wick at least. If you want to put it up to here, you put it up to here. It's about 8 pips, right? And we're targeting 15. So this is kind of how I had it set up. If anything, you can risk what? 6 pips. All right, let's go for 6 pip risk. Let's go to the next candle. All right, now you see how that first formed? Let me go back. Look how quick this was. Now it is in 15 minutes, but I just want to show you that it did tap TP, but then it came back up. So watch it again. Bang. See that? So, again, this is why we have an exit point. This is why we have a TP, because sometimes prices move so fast that you're not able to get out at the right time, right? But if you're following your strategy, if you're following price action, then you can determine where price wants to go. So, I don't use indicators. I do trade with a naked chart. That's just because I'm just able to read what the candlesticks are telling me, right? The candlesticks told me is that it was making the double top pattern up here, right? It told me that, hey, it's a sell at the neckline. That's what it told me. Some people might have taken an impulse entry up here directly at the neckline. Some people did that. Maybe they went to the 5-minute. Maybe someone put their stop loss above this 5-minute candle, took their entry right at the neckline. Then they got 23 pips. So there's different ways to look at this. It doesn't have to be on the 15-minute But again, it's just understanding what's going on. You know, we're going down because price told you it's going down. All right. I did have someone on my stream say that they lost 40 pips on this move because they took a buy. And if you are here, just want to let you know, all these indications indicated that we were going down. All right. So that's GJ. Let's see. Let's talk about gold. All right. So gold had an interesting day today. Let's see. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete these lines because we don't really need them. I'm going to go back in time to, was it 8 o'clock? It was around this time. Yeah, it was around this time. All right, so this is about 8 o'clock. All right. Remember that news is dropping at 8:30. Okay, so we know in 30 minutes, news is going to drop. It's USD news. It's unemployment claims, right? That's something that's important to the economy. It's important to the value of a dollar, right? We're talking about jobs. Unemployment claims is jobs. We're talking about money. Okay, so if it affects the dollar, it affects gold. The dollar is what affects gold. All right. So if we're looking at gold, I was looking at it on the 30-minute and I said, okay, cool. We came down to a support here, right? Support. We see that, right? You see how it previously came down to this area, just like right now it's coming down to this area. That's cool. All right, let's hop on the 15-minute. What do we see? Well, it's important for us to grab a support and a resistance zone, okay? So if I clear this out, we know where the obvious support is on the 15-minute. That one's easy, okay? That one's right here. Now, where's the next support? Where's the next resistance? All right, some people may say that it's up here, right? But to me, it's right here. All right, if we go on a lower time frame, you're going to see it a little better. See, if we hop on the 5-minute, what do you see? You see consolidation, right? Price is moving sideways, right? And we know that price moves 3 ways. It moves sideways, it moves up, and it moves down. So right now it's moving sideways. Now what is it doing? What do you see? It's breaking up, right? We're going up. See how this candle on the 5-minute broke up? See that wick down rejection also? We're getting a wick. I'm sorry. Can't get my arrow. We're getting a wick down rejection and a push up. Okay. You see that? All right. So even if you're just looking at price action on the 5-minute, you could have said, okay, we got these clean candles right here. You could have took a small scalp and you could have said here to here, 25 pips, right? But we're not here to talk about that. That's just a possible move you could have done. What I'm going to talk about is this news drop. All right. So delete that. All right, so let's go back to the 15-minute. Now remember, this is 8 o'clock, so let's go to 8:15. Boom. Okay, cool. So my theory now is, all right, price did go up or whatever. However, it's looking like it's indecisive, right? I think it's indecisive because the next candle will be the news, right? So it probably just didn't know where to go. But again, if you hop onto the 5-minute, check out that price action. If you would have took that scalp, that break up, right? I had my zone right here. TPs right here. That was 25 pips, by the way. Your stop loss was below the candle you entered on because you entered on this candle. Check that out. You know what I'm saying? That's 25 pips. That's more pips than what we just got on GJ. But once again, let's focus on this news. All right, so the news drops. Bang. It flies up. Now, the question is, why did the news fly up, right? So we had a question in my chat, and they said, why did gold fly up if it's good for the economy, right? Unemployment claims was good. It was good, right? More people got jobs, right? So less people are claiming that they're unemployed, meaning more people are getting jobs. That's good, right? And someone asked me the question, if that's good for the economy, isn't that good for USD? Doesn't that mean USD goes up? Doesn't that mean gold should come down, right? And the answer to that is no, right? So why is the answer no? I'm going to explain it to you the same way I explained it. It's about the value, right? So when we're looking at DXY, All right, when we're looking at DXY, this is the dollar. Okay, this is the dollar. So we have people, right? People, it says more people have jobs. That's basically what the news told us. More people are getting money. Okay, more people are getting money means the value of money goes down, right? The value of DXY is the dollar, right? See right here, DXY is the USD dollar. DXY, the value goes down. Why? Well, I explain it. When you think about luxury things, think about a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, designer, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, diamonds, right? You see people, you see these rappers with these big old watches and the chain. Think about things that are worth a lot. They're worth a lot because it's not easy to get. It's not easy to get. If it was easy to get, the value would be low, right? Not all your neighbors have a Lamborghini, right? Everyone doesn't just wake up and have a 200K watch on. You know what I'm saying? So the value of these things go up when it's hard to get, right? That's what you have to understand. So when we take that into consideration, say like I use the example of a 1995 Ferrari, right? Let's say we have a 1995 Ferrari that we want to sell. Let's say it's worth 80K. Let's just say it's worth 80K, right? And let's say this Ferrari, it don't even work no more. The car don't even turn on. All right, it's got black smoke coming out. It's bad for the economy. You know what I'm saying? It's just all around just non-drivable. But it's a Ferrari, right? The value's up. Now, let's take a 2022. We'll say a Nissan, a Ford, a Honda, any car. We'll just say a Nissan, just for this example. A Nissan that's eco-friendly. It's good for the environment. It's a brand new car. It drives well. It's very safe. It's very cool. It's an electric car. We're all eco-friendly, all great, right? Let's say this car is worth 30K, right? Why is the Ferrari worth more when this is better for the economy? This is good for the economy, right? People having more jobs is good for the economy, right? But why is the value different? Because it's about the value of things. It doesn't matter. It's about what it is. So this is the example that I gave. Same thing with like Jordans. Those of you who like to collect sneakers. If Jordan gave away his 1995 Jordans, imagine Michael Jordan signed them and gave them away. They're all beat up and dirty and sweaty, right? They're worth a lot. Versus you go into the store down the street and you paid $200 for Jordans, which is worth more. So when we talk about what's good for the economy, yes, people having more jobs, right? People getting money, it's good for the economy, but it does not mean that the US dollar goes up, right? That's what you have to understand. It does not mean it goes up. It's all about the value. It's not about what's good for the economy. All right, so hopefully that's a good example for you. So I'm just going to summarize that in one quick sentence by saying, listen, when people have more jobs, it's easy to get money, which means the value of the dollar goes down because it's easy to get a dollar. Versus if the unemployment claims was bad, if people lost their jobs, it's hard to get a dollar, right? It's hard to get a Lamborghini. It's hard to get Louis Vuitton. It's hard to get a mansion. It's hard to get these things. You're not just born into it, right? Then the value goes up. All right. So whenever you forget, try to think of that Lamborghini, try to think of that Ferrari, right? If it's something everyone has, the value is down. If it's something everyone doesn't have, the value is up. All right. So with that said, the value of the dollar did go down. So let's bring that back over here. Let's see. Let's put this right here. All right. So when we're looking at USD, right? It's easy to get a dollar, so the value goes down. Now gold, they have to move in opposite, right? When we take Forex pairs, there's always two pairs. So they got to move in the opposite. So that means gold has to go up, right? Now what's first in this pair? Gold is first. So that's what gold is doing during the news. So when this news drops, gold has to go up. All right. So that's my explanation for the news. Hopefully it makes sense. I know it could be a little complicated, especially for beginners. You can let me know in the chat if that helped you made any sense with it. All right, so we come to the 15-minute. That is why when that news dropped, that gold shot up. Okay, that's the exclamation right there. And again, if you were in this trade earlier, right, we talked about this break of structure earlier, right, waiting for those break of structures, stop loss below, you know, and you're going for this, you would have seen that gold surpassed you, right? Gold came all the way up to here. You could have got 30 pips on gold. You see that? All right. So if we keep it pushing, we'll go to where we are right now. All right, this is where we are right now. This is where we currently are in gold. I'm actually going to take it out of replay mode. All right, so what happens next? What happens next is price consolidated. It consolidated, and then it broke down at 9:45. It broke down. You know, you may be able to see it better on the 5-minute. You know, gold is so volatile that, you know, maybe entries are easier for you on the 5-minute. Right, you can see on a higher time frame that's consolidating. Right now, it almost looks like a tweezer top or like a double top. Right, it kind of looks like that. Right. So what did we see happen earlier on GJ? What did we see happen? What did we just learn about? The neckline. Right, the neckline. So where's your sniper entry here? If you're looking at this on the 5-minute, sniper entry would be right here at the neckline. Right, it'd be right there. Right, for my scalpers out there. Let me just take this away. You know, right at that neckline, stops above, you know, short little scalps. You know, I personally, I know how volatile gold is, so I would never put a zone down here, right? You got a zone here, and you also have a zone, you got to look left, right in here. Okay, so personally, you know, you got to be petty with your zones on gold. But if you did put it here, looks like it would have worked out for you though. Either way, after that news drop, you could have scalped 36 pips down. You know, and I'm just showing you how you could get these moves, you know. And if you don't look at it as a price action wave, if you don't look at it as a double top, that's cool. You know, some people came to the charts and they looked at this as a trend line break. That's it. Wick rejection to the top side, we're pushing down. That's it. You know, I don't mean to make it sound easy because it's not easy. You know, it's simple stuff, but it's not easy at all. You know, it just comes with studying and, you know, just really putting in that time on the charts, really studying the price action here. You know, do you prefer GBPJPY over other peers? Yeah, it's my favorite pair. So, you know, GJ is definitely my favorite pair. Hey, Kat, I see you, Kat. I'm coming from her channel, you guys. That's why I'm answering some of the questions. Thanks, Bert. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much gold. Next, we're going to talk about US30. And then after that, I'll ask if you have any questions. This one's going to be a quicker explanation. It's going to be a lot quicker here. All right, so US30, let's talk about it. Let's put it back to the news. All right. So, you know, if we're looking at US30 on the hourly, let me see. I'll take this away. Can't look at it on the hourly because it shows that candle. Okay, we can look at it on the half hour. So what do you see? What do you see on US30 if you're coming on here at 8 o'clock? Well, you see price came up, little head and shoulders pattern came down, right? Made a lower high. Now it's on its route down. However, what do you see? It's not moving down. It's like moving kind of sideways down, right? The volume slowing up, right? It looks like it's gathering momentum for something. You know, unemployment claims is coming, right? So what I'm trying to say is it looks like price is indecisive. It looks like it don't know where it wants to go. It don't. It's kind of moving sideways, right? It's moving sideways. So to diagnose this, what I did was I said, all right, let's put a trend line here, right? Let's put a trend line here. That's where we're at. Every time price smacks this, it comes back down, right? Look at what you see. Just look at what price is showing you. It's showing you this is the trend line. Bang, 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 bang. Here we go again, right? So If this breaks through to the top side, you kind of know where we're going, right? Because all these other times it tried, it just kept retesting off of it. All right. So let's hop down to the 15-minute. Show you what I saw. So again, I know unemployment claims is coming up, which means it's definitely going to move from that because that makes US30 move, right? The value of the dollar. So what I did was I said, okay, obviously this is support. And obviously, you know, we have resistance around this point or whatever. Now, the reason I chose this point is because this candle right here, this blue candle, right? That's where this candle closed. That's where this candle closed. So I'm just using, you know, the most recent support, right? So we go to the next candle. Bang. That was the news. This was the news, literally. Check that out. So let's measure this out. Geez, 43 pips, 53 pips. All right, that's 53 pips off the news. So if you come down to the 5-minute, you know, someone else looked at this a different way. You know, maybe someone else was looking at this like, okay, I'm just going to wait for price to break up out of this 5-minute on the news. If the news shoots up, then I'm going to take an impulse entry because it's breaking up out of here. You know, maybe someone did that. Or let's break this trend line. Maybe someone else looked at this and said, hey, you know, we have a pendant. There's nothing wrong looking at it like that either, right? We have a pendant. You know, you could look at it like that and then, you know, you want to take an impulse entry. Some people may say, okay, I want to take an impulse entry above these wicks. Impulse buy. Maybe they put a buy stop here for the news. Maybe other people said, oh, I want to put a buy stop above the whole triangle. Maybe they did that. Either way, they're good to go. You know, either way, you got what, 36 pips? You know, so, you know, there's different ways to approach the news. You know, before the news dropped, it was looking like this. So what you could have did, another thing you could have did was say, okay, let me see. We have resistance right here. We have support right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a buy stop, which is a pending order, right? I'm going to put a buy stop here. And I'm going to put a sell stop down here below this. So that, because, you know, US30 moves fast. Sometimes you can't catch it, right? So we'll put buy stop, sell stop, right? And remember, these are pending orders. So if price never touches it, your order never gets opened, which is pretty cool, right? Boom, sell stop. So let's put this in play. Boom. Now your buy stop is activated, right? Your buy stop got opened. Okay. So now you're in this trade, right? And you might have put your stops below the candle, right? 9 pip stop loss, 10 pip stop loss. That's not bad on US30. 10 pip stop loss. That's not bad. Now you can close your sell stop because it never got opened. You never lost money. All right. So now you want to be looking left, probably on a higher time frame. You know, you probably want to watch this on a higher time frame for sure. What do you see? Price broke through this resistance. It broke through this resistance. Damn sure broke through this resistance as well, right? And you see this resistance lined up to the support. So you might have chose this as your TP. Maybe, right? But at a certain point in time, you definitely want to put in a trailing stop loss, right? You don't want to, you know, I always say in my stream, do not leave money on the table. We don't leave money on the table. So you definitely want to move your stop loss and profit somewhere. But again, I mean, that's 46 pips. You know, and this all comes from getting on these charts and back testing. Because you see what happened with this next candle. Look what happened. It came all the way back down. You know, so if you want to get in this market and play games and be greedy, you know, try to get more and more and more money, you know, you're probably going to lose. So we want to make sure we always have an idea of where we want to take TP, right? We always want to have an idea of that. So let's talk about what happened after this. Let's clear this out. What happened after? Well, what do we see here? This is literally live right now. Consolidation. You don't want to trade in consolidation. I have a video on my channel called When Not to Trade. This is probably one of the number one things during consolidation. You know, there's a lot of people blowing their accounts right now because they're pressing buy and they're pressing sell. But guess what? If price doesn't know where it wants to go, then you don't know where it wants to go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you want to make sure that we're not working for the markets. We want the markets to work for us, right? We want to figure out where price wants to go so that we can get in and get out, right? It's not about what price wants to do. It's not about what you think it wants to do. It's about what it wants to do. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, and again, the news shot up because that news candle shot up because USD, the value of USD goes down, which means US30. You know, these are two separate things, which means US30 has to go up. What's first in this pair, US30? Well, then because of that news, we are going up, and that is exactly why it shot up on this candle. All right, y'all have any questions for me? That's pretty much what I had to talk about today. Captain Fab, my girl Lins makes it simple. Thank you, Captain Fab. Appreciate that. Any questions, feel free to ask. No, I'm here to help. Don't be shy. Wow, look at GJ now. So looks like we're on an uptrend here. But it looks like we couldn't get past the zone, right? Looks like we couldn't get past here. While I'm waiting for a question, I just want to point out one more thing. There was a Fibonacci play here. I talk about Fibonacci's all the time on my channel. But, you know, it's just a tool that can help you get sniper entries. It's really good for beginners. I highly, highly recommend a Fibonacci for a beginner. All right, but if we're coming out to the 15-minute, Fibonacci is basically this tool right here. It's used to, you can use it for a sell, that's a sell, or you can use it for a buy, right? You can use it for a buy as well. It's basically a tool that you use to hop into a continued trend. So if you think that price is going to continue to the downside here, then you would use your Fibonacci to get in at the pullback, right? Because during a downtrend, the price comes down, we got a pullback. Price comes down, we got a pullback, right? So you want to get in at the pullbacks, right? So that you can get those sniper entries. That's what the fib is for. So when you're looking at a sell for a fib, you want to take the last high. This is the last high. This is the last low, right? This is the last time price was before it decided to bounce up. You understand? So that's where you take your fib. So you do top down. Okay, we have our high and our lows. We have, I made this gold on purpose so you can see it on stream. This is the golden zone. This is typically where price comes in to retrace. As you can see, price is retracing. Cool. All right. So on the Fibonacci, it does suggest for you to enter around this point, and it suggests you to take your profit here. All right. So I'm going to put that up here. I'm going to put entry and take profit. All right. And this is just, you know, a tool that I recommend for beginners. It's a nice, easy tool. And then we have TP. I just put TP for take profit. What's the best way sticking to your journal trades? The best way to stick to your trades is to follow your trading plan. Or are you asking the best way to journal your trades? If you're asking the best way to journal your trades, I recommend taking your time up here, using the text, right? They give you text, they give you arrows, you know, you can draw all over here. You click the camera button up here, you see this camera button, and you can save it into a folder. You know, so I have different folders on my computer. I have a folder just for gold, you know, so I come up here and I graph everything out and I save them. You know, I save all these moves. I save what I see. You know, I diagnose every candle, you know, and you study it. You know, a lot of people want a shortcut, but there's no shortcut. You know, you get what you put into this. You know, if you're putting in that time, you're going to see the results. But if you don't, then, you know, you will be stuck. So this is where, you know, suggest you to enter at around here or here, somewhere around this point. This suggests you take your TP. So if we set up this trade like so, the way the tool sets it up is your stop loss will be 13 pips. Your TP will be 22 pips. All right, so I'm just going to put this in play. Wow. Already in one candle, it already happened. All right, so you see that? But again, you know, I have videos on my channels about these entries, so you can check those out if you want, you know. What levels do you have on the Fibonacci tool? Let's see. I'm gonna put it back up here so you can see it. These are the levels I have. Sometimes I change them around, sometimes I don't. So as far as levels, you probably have to try different levels and back test because it is based off of the way you trade. So definitely spend some time back testing the tool. You know, you may want to take out one of these levels. You may want to keep in one of these levels. You know, it's all based on how you personally trade. So the more you back test it, the more you kind of see what levels you like. You know what I mean? So I did take out some levels and I did input some levels. You can see it right there. Moses, shout out for the Genius Lady Lens. Thanks, Moses. Appreciate that. But yeah, y'all, I mean, that's pretty much the trade there. You could have used it right here as well. I'll just show you real quick. That buy that I was talking about. You know, if you're going for buys, or maybe that's not the best example. It doesn't really come all the way down, huh? I want to try to give you a buy example. Should be on the 15-minute though. There we go. Here's a buy example. Let's put it in replay mode. Bang. All right. So we have a low. We have a high right here, right? Top of that candle. I'm just going to drag it over. This is the last point, last price was before it started retracing, right? So we had a retracement down into the golden zone here. So the fib suggests you take your buys right here. Stop loss above, below here, right? Take profit suggestion is here. And you don't have to take these take profit suggestions. This is suggesting 20 pips. You know, you can take your own zones, but I'm just showing you for this example. All right. And I do want to point out, you don't take this buy until price comes into this zone, right? You don't take that buy. So price came into the zone on this wick. So while this candle was forming, really your stop loss is below this candle right here. So really it's an 11 pip stop loss. And you went for 20 pips because that's what the fib told you. But, you know, it does go past that sometimes. You really would have got 30. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an example of a buy. All right, it's a really good tool. Do you have a Fibonacci video? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's actually 5 minutes. I have a 5-minute sniper entry video. I thoroughly explain how to take a buy sniper entry, how to take a sell sniper entry. I give you 2 examples in 5 minutes. You can check out the playlist on my channel. I have a whole playlist on my channel. Quick guides and tutorials. So there's a lot of videos there. I don't just live stream every day. I do post content. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we had today. So I guess we caught a total of what? It was total 50 pips today. We got 30 on GJ. And I think it was 20 on gold. Something like that. You have to go back to my stream and see. But yeah, we did pretty good today. Any other questions? Looks like we're still stuck in this consolidation zone on gold. GU, I didn't really see much in GU today. It just pretty much consolidated. US30 still consolidating. So, all right. So if there's no more questions, that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Really appreciate that. Appreciate y'all talking in the chat as well.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's stream. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And hey, before you go, make sure to check out our guest on social media, as well as subscribe to the A1 Trading YouTube channel for more free trading content throughout the week. Before we go, I do also want to say down below in the description, there's all sorts of great perks for you if you're looking for a broker. We've got some recommended brokers. We've also got a Telegram channel and email newsletter that you would probably benefit from if you're an aspiring trader. So take advantage of some of that free stuff down below. It will also help out the channel tremendously, and we will see you back tomorrow.